A North Georgia toddler is celebrating her first birthday this week after a year of dramatic ups and downs.
McKinley Majors was born with a series of complicated heart defects, but today she's thriving. And the Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin joins us with her story. Beth?
And Tom and Sine, the news that their daughter was going to be born with some serious heart problems was pretty stunning for the Majors. They had no experience with this and no idea what to expect. But then other heart families began reaching out, and the Majors realized they were not alone.
Kayla and Jason Major's daughter McKinley gets a lot of love when she stops in at the Sibley Heart Center in Gainesville, where the Blairsville toddler is a bit of a frequent flyer.
She is very strong-willed, very feisty.
She's stronger than anybody I've ever known.
At almost 1, McKinley is the youngest of the Majors' 5 children and the only girl.
She's definitely tougher than the boys. They all do whatever she says.
Kayla Majors was 22 weeks pregnant when she went in for a routine ultrasound that would ultimately change their lives.
You could just kind of feel in the room that something was wrong.
Because a cyst on her baby's neck was the first sign of a major problem. The main pumping chamber of McKinley's heart had never developed in utero. So instead of having 2 ventricles or pumping chambers,
she essentially has 1 ventricle, which is much like having half of a heart.
With 1 ventricle, you basically have, it's basically like half your motor's missing, okay? So if half your motor's missing, you can't run as fast, you can't jump as high, you can't go as long.
And Sibley pediatric cardiologist Dr. Wesley Lindsay says 1 out of about every 100 babies in the U.S. is born with a congenital heart defect.
So most congenital heart disease doesn't have a real good explanation for how it happened, and we see a lot of folks who blame themselves and feel like it might have been something they did that caused it.
McKinley spent her first year in and out of the hospital on oxygen to help her breathe, then a feeding tube, trying to get big enough and strong enough for open heart surgery.
Those were some really tough days. The closer it got to surgery, we did start to see her decline. Which, she would sleep most of the day.
At 6 months of age, she was finally ready for the operation to redirect the blood flow through her heart. It was a turning point.
Since then, she's totally off of oxygen. She's totally off of a feeding tube. She started taking a bottle, which was new for her at 7 months old.
McKinley Major still has some catching up to do, but her parents say they're grateful for every step their little heart warrior takes forward.
And McKinley will undergo another surgery in a few years, and for now the Majors are really focusing on helping her catch up in terms of her growing and her walking and her speaking, and they've become advocates for other families of children who are born with heart defects. And Tom and Sine, it was just really comforting for them, I think, to be able to have so many people who've been there, sort of done that, other parents who've been through the same road, reach out to them and tell them, they were going to get through this.
And not to mention access to those world-class cardiologists.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, what a little sense of style Miss McKinley
Oh,
has.
I like how the glasses match.
The matching glasses. Thank you,
Beth.
Beth.